This is the Football Podcast with your hosts, Tyler, Andy, and Boyer.
Welcome back to the Mantasy Football Podcast, presented by just one of your performance-enhancing dads. Man, Ty makes that sound a lot better than I do. I'm gonna go through the stuff that we normally do, probably a lot quicker because there's no one here to disagree with me. I'm gonna start by recapping last week. I'm gonna go through the picks that we made and then hit on just a couple of bullet points, observations that I made, and then we'll move on as we normally do from there. Me versus Colin. My matchup gets to go first because I'm the host today. I was the only one that picked that one right. Ty versus Jeremy. Ty's the only one that picked that one right. Note to self, if you pick yourself, then you win. Chris versus Walker. Only Charlie picked that one right. Paul versus Robbie. Everybody picked Paul. Boyer versus Charlie. All three of the dads got it. Charlie picked himself, so no luck there. And duo versus fire. I was the only one that picked the duo, which is kind of surprising, but I did end up getting that one. So I had 4 right this week. Ty had 3. Boyer had 2. Charlie also had 2. On the year, I'm at 14 correct picks. Ty's at 12. Boyer's at 11. Unprecedented territory for Boyer there, bringing up the rear. Couple of quick notes from week 3. Duo made a great call snagging Tank Dell right before games started, so they don't have to blow a bunch of fab money on him. That was perfect. Colin's poor bench constructions causing issues for him with all the injuries between Eckler and Waddle missing time. I'm sure that locking in Geno Smith to cover Kirk Cousins week 13 bye is helping Colin sleep better, though, so, whatever you need. I'm loving the double Monday Night Football games. I think that that's a lot of fun for fantasy purposes. We had several games that were very much up in the air going into last night's games that were a lot of fun. I'm not worried about Derrick Henry. His first half schedule is brutal. That playoff slate is juicy, though. If Jeremy can get there, he should be fine. Jeremy also shouldn't feel bad for one single second about not playing A-Chain this week. Nobody saw this coming. He only had 2 touches in his debut last week. So, be happy that you have him and hope that it continues going forward, being very productive. But this is not one that I think you were wrestling with going into the noon games. So don't feel bad about not hitting that one right. Other thoughts. Jacoby Myers is Ty's best wide receiver, and that's a very big problem for him. The Jets' running game has been non-existent since week 1. Antonio Gibson is droppable. Josh Kelly has been a massive disappointment, and so has the entire Denver Broncos team. And just, holy shit, Dolphins without Waddle. That was amazing. The Broncos have a very bad run defense, but the Dolphins did whatever they wanted all day Sunday. That team is very good. All right, let's see if I can do this better than the intro. Pow! What am I drinking? Nothing. Moving on. All right, matchup breakdowns. We've got me versus Ty. Me first. Again, I'm the host. Suck it, Ty. I think if Ayuk plays, I'm playing him. Otherwise, I'm going to get Courtland Sutton in there. The Bears' defense has been very bad, and Sutton's been pretty productive. So I'll be happy to play him this week if I need to, but hopefully I get Ayuk back healthy. Swift and Moss have earned their spots. Algier definitely hasn't, and Dameon Pierce is going to be on my bench until the Texans line gets healthy or Jonathan Taylor comes back and forces Zach Moss to the bench, whichever happens first. And Joe Burrow's in a position for a get-right game against a really bad Titans secondary, so here's hoping that I get that. On Ty's side, I'd put Jacoby Myers in for Jahan Dotson. I don't expect Ty to agree with that, but he should. I've got 0 concerns with starting Tua in Buffalo. I'm more concerned with playing the Bills' defense against him. On the pick side, I've got me. Ty picked himself. Boyer picked me. Jeremy versus Walker. Jeremy, it'll be interesting to see if Jeremy starts A-Chain this week over Javonte. I wouldn't. I'm rolling Javonte out against the Bears. I think that Mostert's still the lead back for Miami, and they're not going to score 70 points this week. Um, Obviously, A-Chain has earned a starting spot on most rosters, but looking at Jeremy's options, I'm leaving him on the bench. That's not going to be popular. I don't expect him to do it, but that's my call. So on Walker's side, I'd play DJ Moore over Pittman. It's close, but I would lean towards DJ Moore there. Um, Picks, I picked Jeremy, Ty picked Jeremy, Boyer picked Walker. This should be a good matchup. All right, Chris versus Charlie. Chris, the Falcons have yet to allow a quarterback over 250 yards passing. I think if Richardson's healthy, I'm playing him here. Trevor Lawrence has not looked super great, and while the Falcons have given up fantasy points to quarterback, they have been decent. So I'm leaning toward Richardson if he's healthy. On Charlie's side, don't be afraid of Pitts this week. But that said, you do have a lot riding on the London game here, and I'm not super excited about it. Um, but that having been said, Fields and Chase are primed for huge weeks. I don't think the Bears put up 70 like the Dolphins did, but obviously the Broncos can be run on and they can be thrown on a little bit. So here's looking for Justin Fields to have a big game and Jamar Chase to have an even bigger one. Picks Charlie across the board. All right, Paul versus duo. Paul, I'm playing Miami's defense over the Patriots this week. I think Josh Allen turns the ball over quite a bit, so I'm comfortable rolling them out even if they do give up some points. I'll play Miami's defense. On duo's side, I'm playing AJ Dillon over Justice Hill this week, regardless of if Hill's healthy. Same thing for Tank Dell over Christian Watson. Regardless of if Watson's healthy, I'm getting Tank Dell in there. And the final note I have for the duo is where the hell is JSN? He's not. He was under 50% snaps last week. I know they ran the ball a lot, but what's going on there? They drafted him high, and we all thought that he was going to kind of have an impact, and really has been pretty quiet so far. Um, Picks for this matchup, duo across the board. Boyer versus Colin. Boyer, I've got no notes here. Leave your lineup as it is. On Colin's side, go ahead and drop Seattle's defense. They're awful. While you're at it, you can go ahead and drop Geno. You can drop Hayden Hurst. Seriously, I don't really care who you pick up, but with your injuries, you need more running backs and wide receivers really, really bad. Um, so here's hoping Waddle's good to go because Bateman's been pretty bad so far, and you don't really have any other options for your flex. On the running back side, Roshan's been serviceable. Obviously, you'd love to have Eckler back as soon as possible, but a bit less of an issue than missing Waddle. So really the main issue is the lack of depth because you have depth at all the positions. You don't need it. Picks here, Boyer across the board. All right, Fryer versus Robbie. Fryer, I'm fine with Kamara in the flex over Flowers and Addison. It's good to have the depth that you don't need, especially as we head into bye weeks and guys get hurt and stuff. Don't sweat that. I think that Kamara, especially with Jamal Williams being banged up, is a good play this week. So don't even consider starting the Broncos defense against the Bears. Washington's been just as bad, if not worse. And Philly's D is miles ahead of Denver. So if you didn't see the trivia video, go check that out. There's a tidbit in there about how bad Washington's been and how productive opposing defenses can be. On Robbie's side, I was surprised Aaron Jones sat last week. Here's hoping he plays this week. Giants playing Monday night makes it kind of hard to pencil in Saquon when you don't have an option to pivot to. Judy and Kirk are locks for me this week between starting Terry, McLaurin, or the chance at playing Saquon, who would theoretically be rushed back off an injury. I'll just roll with Terry. Now that Carr's hurt, would you drop him? You can add MVS to the pile while you're at it. He's averaging 2 looks a game. So you guys have some crap on your bench, Robbie and Colin both. Go ahead and clean that up, and maybe you'll win a few more games. Picks here, Fryer across the board. A lot of agreement here in the back half of these games. All right, and now for a joke. A long one. A kind of long one. A little long one. We'll see.
I've been trying to lay low, but these idiot dads aren't telling you what you really want to know. Parity be damned, there is a best and a worst team. Mantasy power rankings are as follows. First, duo. Weak at RB2, but Kelsey and Hurts more than covers that. This year feels like there are no standout great and awful teams, but this one gets the nod at best. 2. Fryer, no holes on this team. Deep bench, too. If any of these rookies pops, you're all in big trouble. 3. Jeremy, another deep team with talent across the board. Could use a tight end upgrade, and that's about it. 4. Walker, running backs don't stack up with the teams ahead of him, and Henry's a hit and miss fantasy tight end at best. 5. Charlie. Defense and Fields have been a massive issue, but shouldn't be moving forward. A deep and well-rounded team. 6. Ty. The Chubb injury isn't a huge deal, but this wide receiver group is bottom of the league and dragging the team down. 7. Paul. Needs to add an RB to make it to the next level, but if Watson's going to produce at this rate without Chubb, this team is on the rise. 8. Robbie. Getting back both starting running backs will make this team middle of the pack. Quarterback and receiver need help. 9. Colin. Eckler's injury derailed the entire team. That means the rest of the team wasn't that great to begin with. 10. Boyer. Can the Jets get Breece Hall going? When and where does Taylor play? There's a lot of talent here, but it's not scary yet. 11. Andy. Very fortunate to be 2-1 without cracking 90 points yet. Cornerstones Burrow, Bijan, Pierce, Goddard all need to take a step forward before this team is scary. 12. Chris. I'm worried about Lawrence and Gibbs. Mostert can't keep up this pace either. Now you know the truth. Don't let them fool you anymore.
And that's when the second tower fell. Huh? 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 All right. Well, this was a much quicker video than we normally get because nobody was here to disagree with me. I think Ty would agree that Charlie's team is the best team in the league, certainly destined to go, if not 13-0, maybe 11-2 at this point. But beyond that, I think I hate everybody. Is the standard sign off. Good luck to everybody that doesn't play Ty. Also is a tried and true. Yeah, that's all I got. I was not used to doing this job, but appreciate you guys hanging in there with me for all of 12 minutes and 2 videos and making it work. We'll see you next week.